Welcome to Slightly Under Asking.
We're back.
We're back. Today, we're going to be a little bit more tactical. We are going to talk about making your first hire.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun. How to do it, when to do it, and what it might look like, feel like, how maybe you want to source them, and how to know when you're ready.
Yeah.
So that you don't lose money.
Or your mind.
Or your mind. Making a bad hire financial costs of making a bad hire are pretty substantial.
Yes.
So
that said, don't delay.
Don't delay.
Because the cost there is substantial as well.
Dun dun.
So you got to hire quick, fire quick.
Yep.
That's the rule.
Slow to hire, quick to fire. That's what I was taught.
Okay. That's good. That's good. There's a book called The First 90 Days, I think. And it's basically about how you create a plan for when you hire someone that they're basically being hired on a like a contingent basis, even though it's not technically that, right? Like, but that's the way you have to think about it.
Is it unspoken, or is this kind of mentioned?
No, it is mentioned. So you set up a plan and you say in the first 30 days, these are the expectations that you accomplish and are successful, and we're going to review it in 30 days. And then in 60 days, you have to be proficient in these things. And by 90 days, here's the list of the things, and so you go over it. So before they first start, and then in 30 days, you check in. If they're not performing at that, now you have a first checkpoint to be like, this is lacking. You're going to need to fix this or whatever, and then move on to that next 60 days, or have let them go at 30 days. Like at least you have something tangible rather than, I think that's everyone's biggest mistake is like you start with someone and then you're giving them so much grace because they're new and really the writing's on the wall. It's not going to work out. But you're like, oh, they didn't, did I train them right? Did I not, this sets a clear standard of like, you need to be proficient in these things in the first 30 days. And if you're not, now as their employer, you have the ability and the documentation to be able to let them go before it's a runaway train.
I historically blame myself when I've had bad hires.
Yeah.
I said, well, I didn't train them right. I didn't give them the resources they needed. But then I look back, I'm like, hold on, they slept through a shift or you know what I mean? Too hard on myself.
Yeah.
I think a big question for a new agent, let's start with when to hire. And I think this is so multifaceted because I think there is probably a volume or a level you reach that's probably a little bit more data driven, but also emotionally, your mental state, when to bring someone on. When is that? And you probably have to start the hiring process maybe even a little bit before, because if you are really busy, you're not going to train someone very well.
Yeah.
If you are in the trenches putting out fires. So let's kind of talk what the landscape looks like when you should bring someone on. When for you was that moment? Was there a volume you were hitting or a number of hours you were working? How did you know when it was time?
Well, some of that was in the COVID nonsense. So there was that. It was very clear that things were super busy, but that also gave me second guessing of is it just because the market is insane right now or is it because my business is actually growing? But I do think that it's hard to say if there's a volume number because it does depend on how you run your business. Because if you're running your business very efficiently, you can probably do more volume than someone who's trying to do all the things and has no systems or process at that volume. And mentally, you both feel very different. Yeah. So I think that's hard. But when you get to the point where things start to fall through the cracks, and or burnout, right? It's one or the other or both at the same time. I mean, I guess those two kind of go hand in hand. But once you start to feel that way, I think is when you need to think about what would it look like if I had some help?
Yep.
what could be taken off my plate. And the biggest thing I hear from agents is, I don't need a TC. It's easy for me to just do the paperwork myself.
I like doing the paperwork.
I
I've
don't
heard that
mind
too.
it. I can just do it while I'm watching TV on my laptop.
Yep.
Like, yeah, you could, but like you have no idea how much better
Yeah.
it's going to get for you once you can like open that up and take it off your plate.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if there is a particular, I think it's different for everyone, but you'll know. And I think to your point, like starting to make that decision before you're in the shitstorm is going to serve you so much better, because it is very hard to train someone when you're just like insane, and it's very hard to see through the mess of things, of like what actually needs to be done and where you need help when everything just seems urgent and on fire. One thing you can do as you're building your business in the anticipation of a future hire is document everything that you do.
Yes.
By just like screen recording it as you do it. This is how I run comps, right? And then save that video file, screen recording of how you did it. This is how I put together my listing presentation. This is like just everything, like create video SOPs on everything you're doing anytime you do them, and save it. And then when you have a hire, you're like, hey, here's how I do all these things. Here's how I enter someone new into my CRM. Here's how I set up my drip plan.
Yep.
Like whatever. Then you don't have to take the time. And like, of course, you're still going to have to sit there and train them and help them understand how things work. But like a lot of those, like they can reference things back. They're not coming to you with questions. Just start recording things that you do.
In the spirit of staying super tactical for this, what do you use for screen recording?
So I have a Mac, so
Okay.
there's like a screen recording feature.
Okay.
But Loom is a good one.
Loom is a good one. I use Loom. I want to say it's like $30 a month.
Oh, I have a free version.
So what?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think when you do a certain, you're right. But I think when you
can
do
like
a certain
5
number
videos
of them,
or something. Yeah.
it's like becomes like a paid subscription.
Yeah.
But yes, I think to your point, you're doing it anyway. Just start recording it when you're not, like you said, in the shitstorm.
Yep.
And you're calm and you just have a minute. You're like, you know what? Like today I have to run comps. So I am going to record this version of comps, you know, for, you know, it's different if you're running comps on a horse property or a luxury home.
Right.
But for a track home, you know, in a subdivision with 10 model matches,
Yeah.
you know, this is a good place to start.
Yep.
And just writing down everything you do as you do it.
That's a good point. Yeah. What are, and having a really good list of like, what are those things that I do on a daily basis? So that comes into like deciding like what type of hire you need. Now the teaching in real estate forever is always hire a TC or assistant before you hire a buyer's agent. That's kind of the method. But with that, like, what does your TC or assistant do, right? Because it could be so different. It could just be a TC who only does your files, or it could be a TC who does the files and also is in communication with title and lender and sending out all the communications and potentially even communicating with your clients. Like, how far do you want to take that?
Yep. There's also, and I don't mean to interrupt you, there's also TCs that will just work for you.
Right.
Or there's TCs that have a small book of business. They have to stay within one brokerage, right? But they will be doing maybe 5-10 other agents' files, and they have their own workflow that you have to plug into rather than them plugging into yours.
Correct. Yep. So what type of help do you need? But really putting out a list of like, what are all the things that I do on a daily basis? And then figuring out what do I need to do and what could someone else do for me that is not, you know, going to be absolutely like critical if I'm not the one doing it, right? Because anyone can do your paperwork that is qualified. That's not a you thing. You know, maybe at this point in your business, showing property has to be a you thing. That's fine. Eventually, it doesn't have to be. At the end of the day, the biggest secret is none of it has to be a you thing.
Yeah.
The biggest players in real estate, the biggest players in any sort of business, the most successful people, like nothing is a you thing for them anymore. Like, except for like visionary, right? They leverage it all out It can all be done by
And it
someone
is
else.
so hard.
So hard.
I don't know if it's an ego thing or the hustle culture that we just talked about, but it is so hard to like, to tell people no, like, oh, I don't show houses anymore. But,
Yeah.
you know,
Yep.
and to not, I mean, I have a story for something that happened this week where I just,
Let's hear it.
you want to hear it?
Yeah. Story time. Oh boy.
So I got a $1 million lead.
Oh, congrats.
Well, hold that thought. She started out very lovely. That's how they always start out. And first time home buyer.
Oh,
I know.
bougie.
So I go through my process. I tell her, I give her my intake form. Let's sit down, come meet me at my office. Let's sit down and have a conversation. I will walk you through this entire process so that you know what it looks like. And in the meantime, here's my lenders. Like, why don't you go ahead and get pre-qualified? There's a bunch of programs. She's a doctor. She calls my lender and doesn't like the numbers. She feels like she should have no down payment, no nothing.
Oh,
Just,
sure.
it should just be free.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
buying a house.
Yeah, basically.
So I get a 6 a.m. text. Why did you refer me that trash lender?
What?
You know, like my go-to lender of almost 15 years who, like, he's so good. My lender is so good that if you tell me you didn't like him, I just assume this is like a you thing.
You
Or
suck.
like
Yeah.
if he can't do something, this is a you thing.
Right.
That's how much
Yeah.
faith I have in him.
Yeah.
Plus, he's like my friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to. So, why did you refer that trash lender? Trash.
Legit said that.
Who talks like this?
Who talks like
Who
that?
speaks like this?
Done. When you said 6 a.m., I was out.
I know, but because I'm, you know, I love pain.
Yeah.
I was like, and then I was like, hold on, this is a teachable moment.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So I responded and this was on Memorial Day.
Oh.
So a holiday,
Yeah.
6 a.m. So then I text at 9. I said, good morning. Happy Memorial Day, first off. Secondly, like, he is one of the best in the business. So I don't believe that it's trash, but we
Yeah.
can talk further on this.
Yeah.
And then I get I'm so sorry. Like, I came way too hot, blah, blah, blah. This is my first time, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me. I'm like, okay. So then she wants to go see homes. I'm like, all right, we still need to meet in my office, have go over the process. We're supposed to meet Saturday. She can only see houses Saturdays and Sundays.
Oh, that's fun.
And still, I'm like,
You're in.
fuck. Idiot. So, supposed to meet at 9 on Saturday, 8 a.m., cancellation. Okay, great.
Oh.
I'm still in.
Oh,
What's wrong with
Kelly,
me?
Kelly.
I think it was the $1 million thing.
Yeah,
You know
it
what I mean?
always
I don't know.
is.
Something when that extra comma goes in, I'm like,
Yeah. And then all of a
I
sudden,
can fix her.
all of a sudden, she's like, "This $600,000 house is perfect."
Hold that thought. So then she starts sending me listings. So we started this journey with her wanting to be in Santan Valley. Now, anybody who's not from Phoenix is so expansive. And I think we've touched on this. Like, Gilbert, I want to say, is like 72 square miles, which is bigger than Minneapolis, bigger than Washington, D.C. That's just
nuts.
Gilbert. That's
Yeah.
one suburb of Phoenix.
Yeah, yeah,
It's either 52 or 72.
a lot.
She big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
$1 million in Santan Valley, by the way, you're going to have like the biggest mansion I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's going to be pimping.
Yeah.
Okay, so she sends me Santan Valley, and then she sends me one in Litchfield Park,
Oh no.
which is on the west side.
Oh, no.
Which is probably with traffic, maybe
An hour.
Oh, from Santan Valley?
From Santan, yeah, probably hour and a half.
Hour and a half?
Yeah.
Hour, 45 minutes?
Not something I'd be doing. That's all I know.
And still, so
Kelly.
I know. God, those who cannot do I shouldn't even have a podcast. What am I saying? Telling you all what to do.
Meanwhile, I was out on Memorial Day at 6 a.m.
I know.
Didn't follow this far.
Dude, so I tell her, I'm like, listen, like, I'm happy to show you. So I was like, you know what? This is so good. I'm like practicing my scripts.
I'm going to take a road trip.
I'm practicing my scripts. No, I was like, you know what? Like, I'm happy to show you all the East Valley homes, but full disclosure, when it comes to showing the West Valley homes, I will have someone else show them to you. Mm-hmm. But then, like, the length in time between, and she only wants to communicate through email. I know. Don't look at me.
This is getting fucking bad. It went from bad to worse.
So, and then it started to unravel.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we really need to have that meeting.
Yeah.
Like,
did she sign a buyer broker at this point?
Oh, hold that thought.
Kelly!
No, I haven't showed any houses yet. I've still never met her to this date.
Okay.
So, so she wants to see some homes. I say, let's
meet in my office.
Let's meet in my office. She's like, but I really just want to see some homes. And I said, all right, well, I'm going to send you a buyer broker agreement. I explain the entire thing, how it works.
Yeah.
She says, well, if the seller doesn't pay, I'm not going to pay you. Cool. Great. Well, again, I'm happy to refer you to someone else. That's not how I work. And she's like, can you do any less on the cookies? I'm like, no, at this point, I'm like, I'm almost kind of waiting for her to bow out now.
Yeah.
I'm like, nope, I am and she goes, I expect like the utmost in customer service. I'm like, well, I'm trying to give you that customer service by meeting in my office and walking you through the process. And that's how I warrant my number of cookies.
Yeah.
Like, right. That is the level of business that I bring to the table.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to refer you. Mm-hmm. And at this point, I'm like, this is done.
Yeah.
And then I wake up the next morning and she signed the buyer broker.
Oh, shit. Never not wanted to see that. Damn it.
So then
we're married.
Yeah. I'm like, damn it. This chick can't get enough of me.
Stage 5 clinger.
So then she goes like days without responding to me.
Oh God.
And she's like, I signed your paperwork. I talked to a colleague, and remember, I'm new at this. I'm like, all right, like, let's meet in my goddamn office. And then she says, well, then she says, I haven't heard any, you haven't offered me any times and dates. And then I get a alert on my Google that she left me a 1-star review from anonymous.
Rude.
I'm like, oh my God, this is my own fault. This is no one's fault. This isn't even her fault.
She's crazy.
This is my fault. I don't know what I've been thinking, but the whole point of this massive spiral, other than just a fun story to learn how unhinged I am and how I'm not doing anything that I say you should be doing. The moral of the story is I was kind of straddling this like boundary, like setting boundary, but not.
Right. Yep.
So this is my own fault.
It's a lesson learned for you. We've all been there, though.
But again, I think this is an important anecdote because we talked about how if it doesn't feel hard, it doesn't feel deserved. Mm-hmm. And I mean that doesn't stop. Like when I've been doing this a long time. Mm-hmm. And I can't help myself too. Like why did I do that to myself? Why did I make it so hard? I didn't even want to work with her.
I know. In all seriousness, I've done the same thing. Like we all have done that.
Me?
We've all done that. Nothing is wrong with you. First of all,
Well, I mean,
second of all, it's And we've all been there because you want to give people a chance. You want to
Yeah.
give them an opportunity. And especially if like they give indications of being willing and interested, and
Yes.
then they do something off, and you're like just trying to be forgiving of
Yeah.
it and give it grace. And and it's business. It's
Yeah.
money, right? You're hopefully following the path to business.
People run a little hot too, I get it.
Yeah. So I could think of a number of stories where I've done that through the years.
But I feel like maybe I just wanted to make it feel hard. And then like, did I think this was towards the end, did I think this was going to end well? And I just let it keep going. So anyways, like you have to be all in on your boundaries. And we talked about this last episode too. Even like I say, I answer my phone from 9 to 7, but I make exceptions. It's really like we all have to collectively work on being all in on the boundaries. It's just not healthy. And then I spent like my entire day like reeling from having a 1-star Google review when I have like
you can get it removed.
I tried.
Did you try?
Yeah, because I sent Google the screenshot of. I'm hoping that some bot or someone when I took a screenshot of her calling my lender trash.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on,
She's crazy.
come on,
Crazy.
She's crazy, right?
Yeah.
It's not me.
I know.
I'm magnetic. She wouldn't leave me alone.
Obviously, my Google profile speaks for
Yes,
itself.
I
She's
know.
the only one who's
So I guess the point being, like, we need to set boundaries and stick to them.
Yes.
I don't even know how I got.
I think that was a really great story. Maybe would have been really good on the last episode about boundaries. We were talking about first hires, however.
Yeah, probably.
But I
Shut
love
up,
it.
Caitlin.
I loved the tangent. It was
Thanks.
really, really good and helpful.
It felt good to talk about it.
And if you had I don't know, maybe if you had someone on a team with you who was vetting through your leads, perhaps that would have stopped there. I'm just trying to tie this back into hires. I don't know, grasping at straws.
It was more of like a boundary offshoot of the conversation. But yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good. Good, great story. Loved it. Very entertaining. Also, it again, in all seriousness, I have done exactly that. It just looked a little bit different, but I've had the same experience more than once where I just follow it too far down. But that is one of the reasons that I do really love the buyer broker agreement requirement, which we'll talk about on a future episode.
Yes.
Because I do think it creates some structure and protection against because in an old world, like you probably would have shown our houses, or at least I would have, right? Like if you didn't have to get the buyer broker sign to walk into a house, I would have been like, see you in Santan in 5 minutes. Like that's what I used to do.
Yeah.
So, that helps at least.
Yeah.
But going back to hires,
I love how I said how tactical this episode would be, and then I just took like 20 minutes for a story.
That story was worth telling.
Yeah.
That story made this episode, in my
Loser.
opinion. So,
Party of one.
no, I guarantee you, and if you're listening to this, you need to comment wherever you're listening and tell us that you've had this experience too, because we know you all have.
Yeah.
It's not just us. So it's hard to make that first hire, hard to make the decision. We talked about do a VA assistant, a TC first before you bring on someone like a buyer's agent. That's kind of like the guidance, right? But I think the biggest thing is like, how do you know what that person's going to do?
Yep.
And that's what I struggled with when I made my first hire is I really didn't have a lot of structure around what they were supposed to do. And I just wanted them to help when things were crazy. And otherwise, I didn't even care. I was like, I'll pay you even if you're not really doing anything because I just need to know that you're there to do things when it's crazy. And that is not the way to look at your first hire. You need to like max that person out with everything possible that they can take off your plate so that you can go and do more, because the whole point of paying them is so that you can make more money using your skills for max results.
Well, and don't forget, so this was my logic when I first was teetering on hiring someone. I always said this. it's too much work for one person, but it's not enough for two. That was always my thought. Like, how am I going to keep this person busy?
Yeah.
But then you also have to think, like, there are other things they can tend to, even personally, to make your life easier. Like
Right.
making appointments for your, getting your oil changed or whatever, you know what I mean? Like things like that. It doesn't have to be super specific just to, if you hire an assistant. A transaction coordinator can't do that.
Yeah.
But if you have an assistant, I think the right cadence for hiring is a transaction coordinator for sure. And then I actually think you should go to a showing agent before a buyer's agent. Because you probably don't have the skill set to hire a buyer's agent if you don't have your SOPs and all of that kind of teed up.
Yeah.
Because then you're just ripe for someone to join you, feel like they're not getting enough value, and then leaving.
Right. And taking a lot from you in terms of like training and stuff. Because a lot of times a buyer's agent is going to be on the newer side and going to want that type of mentorship. Yeah, I agree. I think, first of all, don't lie to yourself and say that you can do your own paperwork. Just try it. Just try it. Hire a TC for whatever it is per file, $350 a file, $450, whatever it is.
Money well spent.
It is, and try it. Just give it a taste for a few transactions, right?
I agree.
Even if you feel like you're not doing a lot of volume, try it. And then be wise with the time that you get back from that, right? When you don't have to do that paperwork and all of that stuff, think about what you could be doing to maximize your time instead. And then once you get a little taste of like that being off your plate, then you can be like, this is nice. Maybe I should hire an assistant. And maybe it's part-time.
Yeah.
That's okay. Maybe it's a VA. And they don't have to be licensed, but maybe they're doing your database stuff and following up with clients. Again, like always going back to that question of like, what brings me money, right? It's getting clients.
Yep.
So what can I take off my plate so that I can do more things that bring me money? Or who can I hire for a fraction of my dollar per hour that is going to, talk to my database? So maybe that's an ISA. Maybe it's a VA just doing email campaigns, organizing your database, mailers, whatever that is.
Yep.
So that you can go film your content, create your content, be more of the visionary in your business, be client facing, deal with the negotiations, which is what you're trained to do. You don't need to write contracts. All you have to do is know what needs to be in the contracts. You need to consult with your clients. You don't need to be the ones having them sign the lead-based paint disclosure.
Correct.
Right? Like you've got to kind of separate what is worth your time and where your skill set is best used and who is really good at the other stuff. I'll tell you, my assistant is out this week for an emergency that's unplanned. If it wasn't unplanned, it wouldn't be so rough because we would have prepared better. But I am dead this week. Like I do not do her job well. It's everything it's like I'm a grandma on the computer. I don't know what I'm doing.
I know.
And I don't know logins to shit. Like it's beyond. So, but you know what? It's actually good. And I'm realizing that in this moment that like this now proves to me that it was about a year ago when I decided to like really lean into her as an assistant and say, handle my email, handle this, handle that.
Yep.
She has taken it all over and clearly she's done a good job. And I've clearly stepped away from it because now I'm like, how do I open a file in our
What's
system?
a PDF?
It's like so bad. I know. I was like, shit, all these pieces of the contract are in one big file. Do I need to separate them before I put them in the reason files?
Well, next time you're frustrated with paperwork, think of what a time suck it is to like pull one PDF apart and then re-upload it and then...
Dude. I literally last night I was like, could I just borrow someone else's TC and pay them on these files? Like just do it. Just do it. Somebody do it. I can't. So anyway, it really is worth it. And like I said, everyone who runs a big business in real estate or otherwise is not doing the tedious work that you can pay a smaller dollar per hour for. They're doing the more strategic, visionary work.
Kind of like a paralegal to a lawyer.
Correct.
Or maybe a nurse to a, I mean, nurses are on next level shit. But,
Yeah.
but just for a very broad, a nurse to a surgeon.
A stewardess to a pilot.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. It's that mindset, and it's a really scary step to take.
It is.
But you do have to dip your toe in order to grow, because you're never going to be able to do it all yourself. And you don't have to do this thinking like you're going to build a big team. Like, there are people who do tons of volume and love being client facing and love being in real estate, and it's just them and their assistant.
Yep.
And their assistant does all the back end paperwork stuff, and all they do is prospect, show houses, client facing, list homes, marketing, and they love doing that. So for me, I'm trying to even step further out of that and not be on the buyer side, and, and eventually maybe not even be on the listing side as much, and grow a team. But you don't have to have that vision. Like, if you love what you do, just have someone help you with the bullshit part, because let's be honest, we're not all good at that stuff. Like, most people are not good at strategic negotiation and client facing, all of that stuff. And then pulling apart a PDF and uploading it and making sure every signature is on there. Those are different skill sets.
Yep. I think even sometimes, and I'm such a social media hater. I think social media is a big time suck.
Yeah.
Marketing, I feel like, can take a lot of time. Not necessarily the making of the content, the video, the actual filming of the video, but the editing, the making it pretty.
Yeah.
It's
the
not
planning
even
of it too, though.
The planning and the, for me, it's the Instagram, uploading, writing the caption, because you have to do it on your phone, and then the hashtags, and you're working on this little, I mean.
Yeah. So you bring a really good point, because yes, you're going to read Millionaire Real Estate Agent or whatever that book is called. I think that's it, right?
The Millionaire Agent, right?
Yeah. Millionaire.
Gary Keller.
Yeah. Yes. Historically, one of the best books to help build your business,
probably
right?
the first realtor book you should read.
Yeah. Also, with a grain of salt, that it is a bit dated, right?
Yep.
And
I was
no
the same
hate.
thing.
It's amazing. Gary Keller's
Great
obviously amazing.
fundamentals.
But there's definitely a lot that you read in there and you're like, well, it doesn't have to be that way anymore. But your point is you were talking about social media. That can be your first hire, right? If you hate social media, find someone on Fiverr or Upwork who can help manage your social media, and it doesn't have to be rocket science.
Yep.
If you have a good idea of what you want to post and whatever, film some content, have some photos, and have them put together maybe some captions for you or whatever it how can it help you? And I think that's really what you have to get back to is my first hire could just be a VA to take some stuff off my plate that isn't even related to transactions.
Yep.
Right. It can just be the back end stuff that I don't have time for.
Scheduling showings.
It could be a project of just clean up this database or, set up. I just had someone do this whole thing that I didn't understand at all to help warm up my email contacts in a new database that I have. And I had to buy domains, and she had to make multiple mailboxes. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you are doing, but hopefully in 30 days this works for me. Right. So but that's something where it's absolutely not. I'm not figuring out how to do that. I do not have time to figure out how to do that. So you can consider just a contract project your first hire, and then maybe find another contract project. And that is all going to give you time back for you to move forward. So
I will say this, again, I'm trying to keep us super tactical this episode. I know Caitlin is big on hiring through Upwork.
Yep. That
is a great resource for kind of that project-based, video editing or things like that. I have used Fiverr in the past, and it's been okay. But I think Upwork, it seems like you have better luck on Upwork.
Yeah.
Now, to that, Fiverr is probably also just as successful, but I also feel like I don't articulate enough exactly what I need. So it probably also, with the help of ChatGPT, you could probably get a really dialed in description of what you need. We will also put in the show notes, whether it be a virtual assistant that you hire or a transaction coordinator that you hire, or they are one and the same, whatever. You can use this resource. It's 50 tasks for a virtual assistant. Don't even think of it just for a virtual assistant. If you have a in-town assistant that you have, just use it as a resource, because it breaks down a lot of real estate-based activities that aren't necessarily your best and highest use of your time and skill set.
Yeah.
So we'll put that in the show notes. If you are interested in hiring a virtual assistant, we have a company that we will also put in the show notes, that they will hire and train and do onboard and ongoing training. So we'll also put that in there for you to utilize also.
Yep. Go out and hire.
Go out and hire, and also lean on your brokerage, right? There's probably a lot of collaboration in maybe some Facebook forums as well. But you might just be able to ask your brokerage, like, maybe some higher volume agents, hey, who are you using for your transaction coordinating?
Yeah.
Or, hey, do you have a breakdown of what they do?
Yep.
I mean, people will share that stuff.
Yep.
Their SOPs and all of that.
Yeah.
And
I'll share it with you.
Yeah.
If you want to reach out to either of us,
for sure,
we're happy to share.
And then there's also their TC might do multiple agents, and then you just hire them, and it's a cost per file. And if the file doesn't close, they might only get paid if it closes, or if it cancels, maybe a $50 cancellation fee or something like that. But it's money well spent.
Yeah. Just dip your toe in.
Yep.
And I guarantee you'll be like, oh, this isn't so bad.
Also,
I need more help.
Yeah. And then I know in a lot of markets, Showami.
Yeah. Doesn't work as well because you have to have the same brokerage showing property for you. So unless someone on Showami is with your brokerage, which in my experience has been really hard to find.
Has it?
Yeah.
I've had actually pretty decent luck. But
Really?
anyways, if you're not familiar, Showami is one where basically you can say, I need homes shown in this location, this time, this date, and people can pick up the order and show the houses for you, and they get paid through the app, and it's in compliance.
It's an excellent idea.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And you don't have to worry about buyer broker agreements and all of that. Well, you have to have them, but you don't have to worry about what's it called?
I don't know.
What? It'll come to me, and I'll say it on a future episode. Basically, so that's another resource you can use. That's an app that you can get for showing help. But basically, you just need to learn your cost per hour and just start doling out tasks and leverage your time better. Even if it's in the spirit of, because you want to take a Saturday off. Mm-hmm. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
That hustle culture, right? We need to stop that. So
yeah,
we'll put all that in the show notes.
Yeah. And I'm sure we'll continue to talk about this type of stuff on future episodes.
Yeah. So go ahead and hit the bell if you are watching us on YouTube, subscribe, comment. And then if you're listening on where you listen to your podcast, go ahead and make sure to give us a follow and a 5-star review. Share this episode, comment.
And let us know if there's any topics you want us to cover in the future.
For sure. All right. Well, we will see you on the next one.